When I retired, I thought I had a fair idea of what to expect, but some things still surprised me in good ways. Plus, I've also had a few concerns along the way. So in this video, I'm going to share with you my biggest surprise and my biggest retirement concern. But it's not all going to be about me, because I'm going to actually share with you what other retirees are typically saying, because chances are yours will be different to mine. And as a bonus takeaway towards the end of the video, I'm also going to share with you what was my biggest non-surprise and my biggest non-concern. So be sure to stick around for that.
Retirement is a chapter of life filled with surprises. Some are uplifting, some are more challenging. It's a time when purpose, freedom and health all come into sharper focus. In this video, we'll explore those moments of discovery, the concerns that come with them, and what many retirees have learnt along the way.
And just a bit of housekeeping before we get started, guys, because the information contained in this video is of a general nature only. They're just thoughts and opinions of others, so it shouldn't be construed as either life or financial advice. And you'll need to get the services of a professional on that one. You think once you retire that life's going to slow down. Well, for me, it's been the complete opposite. My biggest surprise is just how busy and fulfilled I've become. Between doing this, going on travel adventures, spending time with friends and family, finding purpose in new ways, I often ask myself, how in the hell did I ever have time to go to work? And the thing that often gets missed in all of this is that life still gets in the way. You still have appointments to go to, errands to run, managing the finances, home chores, home projects, and of course there's family commitments as well. So the big one here is having that sense of purpose. So retirement isn't about filling the calendar and living under the veil of busyness. Rather, it's about filling the calendar with things that really matter. So based on the research I've covered together with my own general knowledge, here's what other retirees are saying about their biggest surprises in retirement. Every day is not a vacation or it's a Sunday. Yeah, and keeping what I just said, life is still busy. There's things to do. Of course, some days are chilled. Some are for doing vacation-based stuff. But at the end of the day, there's also days where you have to do just regular life stuff. Traveling less than expected. Of course, travel is part of the retirement deal, but it's not strictly based around that. Lower than expected expenses. Some retirees are surprised to find their day-to-day expenses are lower than they anticipated, often due to spending less on work-related costs, commuting to work, clothing, attire, those sort of type things. The transition out of work was easier than expected. Many thought they'd miss their colleagues and or the routine. Some also said they expected to keep in touch with colleagues, but were surprised to find that hasn't happened. And I can certainly relate to most of those, because life isn't about being on holidays all the time in retirement. It's about filling days with fulfillment. And on the subject of work, well, I certainly thought I might keep in touch with work colleagues, but surprise, surprise, I haven't. And when it comes to concerns, for me, it isn't about money. Don't get me wrong, finances are really important, but for me, health is number one, and it's my biggest concern. As the channel's catchphrase says, maximize the youth of your retirement, and that's exactly what I plan to do. Because none of us know what's around the corner. Despite living a relatively normal and healthy life, I've got a few things I need to manage. So my great hope is that I can still maintain my current status quo as far as my health goes and have plenty of active, healthy years ahead. And I sort of think of it like this. I want to be doing more hotel and airline check-ins than I do medical appointments and hospital check-ins. Well, no surprises here, because financial concerns are at the top of the list. Running out of money, inflation, the cost of living going forward, not being able to live a comfortable retirement, and being forced to live life more frugally than they expected. Now, I'm not dismissive of this, because we all have these concerns, but I do think there's great merit. I've said before in other videos, rather than assuming you're going to be in trouble financially, go and seek the service of a professional and put together a plan that's going to work for you. And also what I think is a good idea too is to have regular financial health checks. Hey, look, we do it with our own personal physical health, don't we? So why don't we do it with our money? Go and see your financial advisor maybe every 2 years, because situations and circumstances change. And I think having a plan is going to set you in the right direction. Again, only my opinion, but go and seek the services of a professional on that one. And like me, other retirees have concerns about their health, especially when they have unexpected medical expenses that they didn't foresee. And again, my thoughts on this is be proactive with your health. Go and have regular checkups. If there's things you need to manage, or maybe even if you need to, go and have more invasive checkups. That way you can possibly foresee something on the horizon and put a plan in place with your doctor to manage it, rather than be hit with a problem where you're in damage and panic control. And the other issue retirees have with their health is long-term care need, going into aged care, that sort of thing. Again, I can relate to this. I had to put my late father into aged care and essentially manage everything for him. He was in there for 2 years, and I saw him unfortunately go from where he was to the end. It isn't something I'm particularly looking forward to. It is reality, but again, I guess my intention with that one is to have a plan in place so I'm not relying on others to do all the heavy lifting for me. Hopefully I'll sense when my own mortality isn't too far away and I can make the necessary provisions well in advance. Loneliness is another one, and this particularly relates to people that have concerns about having a spouse that might pass away before they do and them being left on their own, or vice versa, of course. I can certainly relate to this to some extent because at the moment I'm single and I only have one sibling and she lives overseas with her family. So, you know, I have a great concern, and I say this to others, and that I don't want to die alone. So this is a real concern for a lot of people. I guess the big key fundamental here is purpose. So if that's missing, or you don't have a healthy social life, I guess retirement can feel a bit empty. So now on to my biggest non-surprises. Well, I guess for me, my biggest non-surprise was definitely I didn't expect to miss work, and I certainly don't. And the reason why is in the lead up to retirement a couple of years prior, I took a 6-month sabbatical, and I appreciate not everyone's in that fortunate position to be able to do that. But it was a bit of a try before you buy type scenario. And for me, I certainly didn't miss work while I was having that break. And then when I returned to work after taking the sabbatical and getting back into the routine, doing the commute and dealing with all the politics and other people's problems, it became quickly apparent to me that I was done. And my biggest non-concern was identity loss. Because when I was working, any identity I had, I always thought was theirs rather than mine anyway. I worked in corporate management, and for example, if I looked at what was on my LinkedIn profile, it was typically all about things I'd done for them rather than me, and it was really all about them, as I said. And to be honest, being retired now is my identity. And for me at least, I think there's a great opportunity in retirement to forge a brand new identity, and one that's distinctly and uniquely yours. So guys, that's my biggest surprise and my biggest concern, but I'd love to hear what yours are. If you're retired, what's been your biggest surprise? And what's the one thing that concerns you most? Or if you're still planning for retirement, do you have any sort of concerns around what retirement would be like? Drop us a line, we'd love to hear from you. And as always, guys, if you enjoyed the content of today's video, I'd love it if you can give it a thumbs up because it really does help the channel. Hit the subscribe button so you're up to date with all the latest offerings on the channel. There'll be a couple of other video links appearing above in a tick, so click on those if you want to sort of see more what we do on the channel here, which is all related to things retirement, travel and purpose. I'll see you in the next one, guys, and bye for now.